It's Susie here. Welcome to the Her Business podcast. I'm the CEO at Her Business, and we have a great topic for you here today. It was actually inspired by a conversation happening in our Her Business Network members group. So if you're working really hard and you feel like you're no longer having fun in your business, it could be that you don't have this clear direction that we're going to be talking about today. It could be that you don't have clarity on the most important thing from which every result in your business starts, and that is your vision. Your vision is the first place we always start when we plan our marketing activity, whether you're going to bring in a new client, whether you're going to raise your prices, what types of clients you're going to work with. Inside of Her Business, we talk about having a big vision for your business, but then we also break it down into a 12-month vision, which we call the Big Kahuna Vision. And I'll explain that because it's a little bit of a strange term that we've coined. Your Big Kahuna Vision is your 12-month vision. It's the thing that if it happened in the next 12 months would revolutionize your business. So every year we work with members to set their Big Kahuna visions before they decide what projects they're going to work on. So that takes knowing where you're headed. And that's exactly what a vision is. Now, as I said, this episode was inspired by someone in our group who said, I think I need some help. She started to work on articulating her vision, and she took out a piece of paper and she said, my vision is, and she said, I've done all my washing, I've got my art prepared, I've fed the cat, but it seems I don't have a vision, which I thought was quite funny. And she said, does anyone have any ideas on how to verbalize or get clear about having a vision? And that inspired me to put this show together because I love talking about vision and I love talking to business owners about a vision. Because I know that in the first few years of my business, I didn't know what my vision was. I'd been retrenched. I started a business. I just wanted to survive. I just wanted money in the bank. But over the years, and I'm in year 29 now of owning my own business, the vision has changed. It changed as I entered different stages of my life, as I wanted to work with different types of people, as I had more runs on the board. In the beginning, it was hard for me to see even 2 years ahead. And then I was able to envision things for much longer periods of time. Now, my personal vision for my life and my vision for Her Business are different, but they're very aligned. My vision for me is to do what I love every day and to enjoy a life that allows me the freedom to travel and spend time with those I want, where I want, when I want. My vision for Her Business is that it helps women reach their full potential in business and helps them become free of time limitations, free of money limitations, and their ability to really express themselves through their business. So the suggestions today are going to help you if you feel a little bit fuzzy about your vision. Here's an out for you. You don't need to have a huge vision. You don't need to want to change the world or impact millions of people. Your vision might be to help 100 women in menopause get rid of the excess weight around their belly, or it could be to help 40 business owners hire the right staff, or 10 homeowners each month to have clean swimming pools so that the kids can play and hang out with their friends. It doesn't have to be deep. It just needs to be meaningful, but only meaningful for you. You see, your vision is for you to be enrolled in, what you do and to have something that pulls you forward and makes it easy for you to keep taking action no matter what. Your vision calls on your grit, your stick-with-itness. It's what gets you out of bed and gets you to work every single day. And Steve Jobs, founder of Apple, co-founder actually, he said, when you're working on something you care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. And so that's the kind of vision we want. We want it to be so compelling that it pulls us forward. We want to show up at work. We want to show up in our business. We want to work with clients because we know that we're heading in a direction. So one of the things I want to say is if you're feeling a little numb inside around your vision, is to start to do some exercises. I'm going to give you some tips here today. That'll tap into your passions and your values and the things that really matter to you. And they may not be at all related to business, but you can bet that they're going to be very aligned to what it is in wanting to grow your business. So ask yourself, what do you love? For example, I love learning. I always have. I was going to be a teacher. I'm glad I'm not a teacher. I think it's the hardest job in the world, but I am a teacher. I just operate in a different environment. And so I've grown 4 educational organizations. I really believe that knowledge is power. And as someone with a non-traditional business education, I didn't get an MBA from a university. I'm all self-taught. I've relied so much on books and podcasts and networks and masterminds and courses. So I know for me, knowledge is really important. It's important for me personally, but it's also very aligned to what I do in my business. So have a think about where your heart, what are the things that you would do even if you weren't being paid? And as you're doing that, I want you to notice if a little voice pops up inside saying, who do you think you are to want that? You're too old for that. You're too young for that. It's too late. You're not smart enough. People like you don't do things like that, or nobody in your family has ever achieved that sort of thing, or you don't have what it takes. Or if you got that vision that you want, that big thing that you want, you would have to change friends. Your family would think that you thought you were too big for your boots. These sorts of triggers can really hit us at our core and dampen our ability to see a bigger picture. And I know there were times where I did not share my vision with my family or some of my friends. And I feel a little sad as I say that, because if you're listening and you think, yeah, that's what's going on for me, then I encourage you to just sit in that discomfort and protect your vision. I'm going to give you, as I said, some practical steps. And at the same time, I want to suggest that if what I just mentioned is really resonating for you, then getting some professional help to uncover any deep held beliefs or areas of pain that might have you not be willing to look at your vision might be a good idea. Sometimes if we've set a big goal and we've failed, we may not want to try again. And that can be for life and in business. So I just want to encourage you that while I'm going to give you some strategies, sometimes we need to seek professional help, especially if it's an emotional block to moving forward. Because in life, we want to have a vision. We want to know where we're going. So I want you to think about these things. I'm going to give you a few ideas here. I want you to start, as we're talking about your vision, to think about your ideal business. What does your business look like at its most successful state? How does it feel? What kind of impact is it making? Think about what hours you're working, or the surroundings, or who you're working with. What types of clients? What type of work are you doing? What products and services? This is if it's ideal, right? You don't want today to taint what it is that you want tomorrow. What are you earning? What is the business paying you? Now, for some people, replacing their salary is the vision. For others, it's busting through 100,000. For others, it's $1 million goal. So imagine your ideal business as it is for you without editing yourself, unapologetically. So if you're on the go at the moment, if you're at the gym, you're listening to me, you're walking the dog, you might want to come back to this episode again and actually do this with pen and paper, or, your keyboard and a computer. The second thing is defining your why. So really digging deep into why you do what you do. And sometimes we start a business because you've had a child and now you're going to work from home and you start a side hustle and then it grows into this incredible business. Other times you're retrenched like I was and you go into a business. But whatever it is, at the bottom of why you're doing what you're doing, it's either that you have a strength and this is your gift to give the world, your ability to write great copy or to fix a website or to help someone with their styling, whatever it is that you do, or to train managers on the front line, whatever it is. Think about why you do what you do. Now, a few years ago, I was at a conference in Austin and I was in a lounge with other business people, and a woman said to me, I'm interviewing business owners about why they do what they do. Would you like to be interviewed? It'll only take 10 minutes. I said, sure. And we sat knee to knee in our chairs, and she had a notepad and she said to me, just go ahead and tell me why you do what you do. And I started to say something like, I love education, and so I've wanted to create these environments for people to learn and grow. And she said, okay, great. And she made a note on her notepad, and then she looked at me and she said, would you just tell me again why you do what you do? And I said, look, I am self-taught. I've managed to grow a great business. I love sharing that knowledge with others so that they can grow and scale businesses too. And she said, okay, great. And then she continued to ask me the same question again and again. And I thought, this is nuts. And then all of a sudden, my eyes welled up with tears. And she looked at me and she handed me a big oversized Post-it note. I don't know if you've seen those, a big yellow Post-it note. And she gave me a felt tip marker and she said, just write down what you're thinking. And on that oversized, crazy Post-it note, I wrote, I want people to be free. I still have a photo of myself with that Post-it note somewhere. And the reason it brought me to tears was because I wanted to be free. I wanted to be free of having to ever get a job. I wanted to be free of someone else setting my salary. I wanted to be free of so many things. But I had created this business that helps people become free. So I've had 3 or 4 educational companies now. Her business network is about helping women to be free, to become financially free, to do what they love every day in their businesses. And so tapping into your why, whatever that is for you, can really unlock the work that you should be doing. Now, part of what I mentioned was that my vision changed when ideal clients changed. So once upon a time, if you called yourself a businesswoman, we would try and have a product or service to suit you. But we discovered after a while that our ideal clients are women who are knocking on the door of $100,000 and they're looking to grow and scale to 200, 500, even towards 7 figures. And so they're the women that we feel that we can help the most. And so we created a new vision for the business around this new ideal client persona, this ideal client avatar. And so there's going to be some people that really light you up, and some are just helping you pay the bills. So you may need a bit of both in the beginning, but the more that you can align your thinking with your ideal clients, the clearer it's going to be as your vision of how that is all going to come together. One thing that I also want to suggest is seeking inspiration. Really find success stories of entrepreneurs who align with your values, who've created businesses that you really resonate with. I remember very early on in my career as a business owner reading a book by Anita Roddick of The Body Shop. She had a very unorthodox way of running a business, and she became like my mentor. I did get to meet her once. I actually presented an event with her, but she was a mentor. And the reason I say this is that her story so inspired me that it had me create a vision for my own business. The same with Richard Branson. I was very lucky to work for Virgin in my early 20s, and his story has always been one where it's like, wow, this is what he's done, this is what he's doing, and it's helped me be able to see that I could do more. If you're part of the Her Business Network, you are totally in the right place to be connected to stories of women who have inspiring stories, because I'm always bringing you my friends and network to teach and train and inspire you. But more than that, every single day inside the Her Business Network, we're seeing stories of women who have incredible stories to tell about the way that they are growing and scaling their 6- and 7-figure businesses. So really seek out inspiration. And I'm going to talk a little more about that, because who we surround ourselves with can really impact our vision. And so you don't want to be with naysayers, you don't want to be on your own, and you don't want to be just sharing your vision with your family. And the reason is that you might have goals that surpass what your family even sees for you. And now they love you, but they don't know what it's like necessarily to run your business. And so I remember very early on, I never shared my vision with my family. I shared it with my business partner. I didn't even share it with a whole lot of friends. It was just something very personal to me. And part of that was that I was protecting the vision. I wanted to feel safe in being able to share it. And so for me, the safest place to share it was with other women business owners. And men as well, but with other business owners. So I joined masterminds and peer-to-peer accountability groups. And there I could share, because they knew what it was like to try and hire the right team members, to execute a great marketing campaign, to put in place the systems, to get myself out of the day-to-day, to put together a plan. So really seeking inspiration from the people around you, not only in their stories, but in having an audience for your story as you start to unravel and as you start to get clearer on your vision. The other thing I'm going to recommend is journaling. Now, this is an activity that, to be honest, I do sometimes and I don't do other times, but I tend to do it when I get stuck. When I get stuck, I will open up a journal and I will start to ask myself some questions. So in relation to vision, your questions could be actually prompts like, my ideal business looks like, and you just go on and write. My ideal clients are, what I love doing in my business is, or what I dislike doing in my business is, where I'd love my business to be a year from now is. So you're not saying, come on vision, come to me, be clear, be awesome, be big. You're asking yourself questions around the areas. And these questions are going to shut down that left brain long enough, that logical brain goes quiet, and you start to tap into some of the deeper and underlying thoughts and beliefs. Now, this journaling doesn't have to be a book, and it doesn't have to be long, and it doesn't have to make any sense. It's just for things to come out of your head, and often what will come out are thoughts that you didn't even know you were thinking, They'll come out on that paper. Then you want to find, as I said before, somewhere to share your thoughts and aspirations. And supportive friends and mentors and other women in business is a great place to start. And so for this member who asked this question in the Facebook group, that was a great place for her to ask the question, to get the feedback and support, which she did. That thread has gone off. When you're part of a community of like-minded women, it gives you a place to get answers to the questions that you have, and you also realize that you're not alone. And as business owners, we all come to the same place in different seasons in our business, and it's great when we can be there to help each other. Now, every month inside the Her Business Network, we're focused on a different area of business. We call these our Her Business Growth Zones, and there's 8 of them. And this month, it's all about people. And people is our team, our suppliers, our bookkeeper, our graphic designer, etc. But it's also anyone who helps us run our business and keep us sane. So that includes your mentors and your peers. And people are such an important part of what supports you to grow in your business and to realize your vision and to validate your vision. So all month, we are featuring members who can help you create the right team around you, the right suppliers around you, get you closer to your vision faster. And we're supporting our members with hundreds of dollars in bonus resources to help them get closer to their vision of getting the right support from other people around them. So the other things we're doing that I want to invite you to is our Business Growth Summit. But before I do that, I just want to reiterate what we talked about here today. And that is really getting clear on your why you do what you do. And this would be a great thing for you to journal. The other is to really imagine what your business looks like when it's ideal. The other is to identify your ideal clients and also to seek inspiration. Really, start to read books from people who inspire you, who have great businesses or articles or blog posts, or listen to podcasts. I always find that really lights me up and gives me such great ideas. And then try the journaling. I'd love to know how you go. And of course, find the right people around you. So next week, we're doing something at Her Business Network, which we don't normally do. Most of our events are just for our members of the Her Business Network, but from the 31st of July to the 4th of August, we are running the 2023 Business Growth Summit. And unlike most of our events, we are opening this one up to you, even if you're not a member of the Her Business Network. Now, this is a week of free presentations from some of my favorite business owners. They're world-class speakers, they're best-selling authors, they're inspiring entrepreneurs, and they're coming together to talk about business. Now, they're talking about both practical things, what we call the outer game of business, like marketing and sales and statistics and processes and teams and operations. But they're also going to be talking about the inner game, which is what we've been talking about here. The inner game is the work that we need to do as business owners to connect with what we really want and to stay true to the vision that we have for our business, even when things get tough. I'd love you to join me because the summit is just for a week and then it goes away, and you can learn more at herbusinesssummit.com. Now, if you're new to the show and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe because we've got lots of great episodes coming up. The other thing I want to say is that if you enjoyed this episode and you'd be willing to head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review, I would love it so much, because that is how we get more and more women growing and scaling businesses, which is my passion, which is my mission, which is my vision. Not that it's all about me, but my vision and my mission is to help more of you, more people like you, to grow and scale businesses. So the more people we get these messages out to, the more we help women. Finally, I wanted to say that if you want to reach out to me, you can write to me at podcast@herbusiness.com. I answer every email, and if you have a question or if there's some way I can support you, please go ahead and write to me. And that again is podcast@herbusiness.com. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on the next episode of the Her Business Podcast. I hope you'll join me at the summit. Bye for now.